I stood in my backyard in September 2024, staring at my once pristine in-ground pool, now a black, oily disaster. The stench hit me like a brick wall. I'm Ethan Parker. Folks call me Eth, a 42-year-old environmental compliance consultant who thought I'd hit the jackpot with this suburban dream home in Willow Creek, Ohio, 6 months earlier. Manicured lawns, identical houses, peace and quiet hats, what the realtor sold me. But I didn't sign up for a feud with Susan Bradley, the HOA president who turned my life into a battlefield. She didn't expect her petty revenge to backfire with a DULA $500,000 EPA fine, though. If you've ever dealt with an HOA tyrant flipping your world upside down, hit that like button and share your story below. I need to know I'm not alone. Subscribe too, because this saga's wild, and you won't want to miss the ending. It started at the neighborhood welcome mixer back in March. I'd barely unpacked when Susan swooped in, clipboard clutched like a weapon, her smile all teeth and no heart. "Welcome to Willow Creek," she said, her voice using fake sweetness. "I'm Susan Bradley, HOA president. Here are our community guidelines. We take property values seriously." She thrust a binder into my hands, heavy as a rock. I muttered a thanks, thinking she was just overzealous, but I noticed neighbors tense up when she passed, flashing forced grins like she was a dictator. I should have seen the red flags right then. For a month, things were calm. I worked from home, crunching environmental regs, and unwound by my Paola stunning setup the previous owners left behind. It was my haven, the water catching the sunset just right. Then I decided to repaint my front door. The faded red was peeling, so I chose a crisp forest green. I was mid-second coat when Susan's knock rattled the frame like a battering ram. "Excuse me," she said, arms crossed, smile tight. "Did you submit a color change request?" I blinked, paintbrush dripping. Didn't know I needed toits just to refresh? Her eyes narrowed. Section 4.7, Exterior changes, including doors, need committee approval. Green's not on our palette. Back to red by tomorrow, or it's DULA $50 a day. Stunned, I repainted it red the next day. She strutted by, snapped a photo, and nodded smugly, like I'd passed a test. Lesson learned. I thought HOA rules are odd. Move on. Nope. That was just her warm-up. Violation notices started stacking up. Trash can out on a non-pickup day, DULA $50. Grass half an inch too long, DULA $50. A potted fern on my porch not on the approved plant list, another DULA $50. Each one bore Susan's sharp signature and a fines-pending warning. I'd peek out and see other yards overgrown bushes, tacky gnomes and untouched. Why me? I got my answer at the June HOA meeting. I stood up, calm as I could, and asked, "Why am I racking up fines when my neighbor's trash can sit out all week?" Susan waved me off to a room of fidgeting homeowners. "We address all violations, Ethan. Some just pile up more." Her tone screamed, "Shut up," and the fake smiles around me said no one had my back. Then I remembered. At the mixer, I'd questioned her plan to hike dues for a community fountain no one wanted. She'd glared then, and now I was her target. Things escalated in July. One evening, I had friends over for a quiet barbecue, burgers on the grill, beers by the pool. At 8 p.m., Susan appeared at my fence like a vulture. "HOA noise ordinance kicks in at 8, she barked, while whined her phone with some app glowing. "You're at 65 decibels over our 55 limit. And that pool, no use after 7:30 per section 12. Splashing's noise, lights are pollution." I kept cool. "Susan, we're just talking, no music, no yelling." "The app doesn't lie," she snapped. "Verbal warning this time. Next, it's official." My buddy James, a lawyer, stepped in. "Ma'am, the Fair Housing Act doesn't let HOAs micromanage private pools like that." Her eyes slit. "You a real estate expert?" "No," he said, but she cut him off. "Then stay out of it. Shape up, Ethan." A week later, I added solar path lights along my driveway for safety. 2 days after, an orange slip, non-conforming landscape accessory competitive illumination discrepancy, DULA $50 a day. This wasn't rules, it was personal. I emailed the HOA board, CCing residents I'd met, listing my fines: trash, grass, plants, lights next to photos of ignored violations, Mark's overflowing cans, Emily's wild daisies. "Where's the fairness?" I asked. That night, Susan called, voice trembling with rage. "How dare you undermine me with that email? That's harassment." "Transparency isn't harassment," I said. "We pay dues, hold rules, be clear." "You don't know who you're messing with," she hissed. 7 years I've run this, HOA troublemakers don't last. Click. James warned me she'd escalate, so I installed security cameras. Good call. 3 days later, I came home from a trip to find my pool a toxic swamp. The smell hit me July 18th, 2024, after a 2-day work trip. My pull-me sanctuary was black with oil, staining the concrete, soaking my garden. Susan had gone too far, but my cameras caught her every move. I pulled up the footage. 2 a.m., Susan in dark clothes, lugging jugs from a car down the street, dumping 40 gallons into my pool. I called 911, then my insurance, then James. "She's done," he said. "Save that VYD, call the cops." Officer Greg Moore arrived, watched the footage, and bagged an oil sample. This isn't just vandalism. Environmental fines are massive. Groundwater's at risk. As an environmental guy, I knew 40 gallons of used motor oil could mean six-figure cleanups, EPA involvement, jail time. Susan was screwed. Cops hauled her in that night. My neighbor Emily peeked over the fence, gasping, "She fined me $200 for daisies last year. This is insane." The next day, a hazmat crew confirmed 40 gallons of motor oil cleanup estimated at $120,000. EPA agent Claire Evans arrived, stern. "Willful dumping Clean Water Act violation. Fine start at $25,000 daily, cap at $500,000 for intent. She's liable." At the emergency HOA meeting, I played the video for 60 neighbors. Susan, out on bail, stormed in, claiming I'd framed her, that the oil was mine. But Claire shut her down. Industrial-grade oil, matches jugs at her place, $500,000 fine, minimum. The board voted her out that night. Cleanup started July 20th. Susan's house went quiet, then hit the market foreclosure. By August 15th, my pool was back, new liner gleaming. Neighbors pitched in plants, a barbecue. The HOA shifted under new president Mark Thompson. Transparent budgets, fair rules. I joined the board reluctantly. Someone had to keep it honest. Susan got 6 months jail, 3 years probation, and $150,000 in damages to me. Her last threat, "You'll regret this," came from an unknown number, but she was broke, powerless. Willow Creek was ours again, and I'd sparked it. Peace earned, not given.